aim to motivate and inspire viewers to enjoy the clothes they wear as an expression of their personality and their beliefs. This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 77, I think, or is it 78? Forgot to check. New episode of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda and I'm your host. In this episode, I will give you an update on the knitting and crocheting that I've been doing in the last 2 weeks. I've fallen down a big crochet hole and I haven't managed to get out yet. And in the next section is a big layer cake session with lots of dressing and styling tips around the top that I am wearing, which is a love top in a blend of undyed linen with a very small percentage of stellina. So it's got a sparkle to it, very subtle sparkle. As you can see, it's not in your face. And as a result, it is a really interesting top to layer underneath some of your other layer cakes and other garments in your wardrobe, just showing a little bit of it and almost adding a sense of jewelry to your outfit rather than, an out and out sparkly top. Of course, it can be worn by itself as well, like I am at the moment. So have a look at that section if you're interested in wearing a top not just like this, not just for the holidays, but throughout the year. But first of all, my knitting and crochet adventure continues. Yes, so adventure it is. What I am going to show you is my progress on my Dances of Wolves jumper. But before I show you what I'm doing with that and how far I got with it, I wanted to show you this little crossbody bag that I made very recently. I crocheted it. I think I told you about it in the previous episode, the YU bags that I found online that are really intriguing and really exciting in terms of patterns and whatever. But what I started doing, I'm not very experienced with my crochet, and I thought I'm just going to do a basic one to start with before I start playing around with lots of different patterns. And I finished this one that I used an old strap for that came of a little bag that had seen years and years of use and had fallen apart. But the strap is still in really good condition. It's black leather. It's got the metal fitting still, the little clasp, and I salvaged the little metal triangles from the bag as well. So I was able to attach those and then use the leather strap as a crossbody shoulder strap. It's already seen lots of use. And what I've done is I have lined it with linen in a contrasting color. Of course, some of the Layercake linen, I've used magpie and magpie stripe, and I've machine sewed the little bag together, inside bag together, and then I hand sewn it with a blanket stitch onto the edge of the crocheted bag. So it can actually be used in both ways. It can be used with the fabric on the outside, and I've used a set of very strong magnets as a closure. The little pocket inside is exactly the size of a passport, so you fit your passport and your phone in here. The idea is that it's the size of one of the larger size phones. So a phone, lippy, set of keys, passport or no passport, and then you can put your keys in a little side pocket so they don't scratch your phone. Trying to think of everything. You can see that it's about the size of like a washcloth. Just fits my hand to give you an idea of dimensions. And then that strong magnet at the top is a really nice closure. I will be bringing kits for these with the magnets and fabric and yarn to Yarndale with me later on this month, later on in September. Yarndale is the last weekend of September in Skipton. Really looking forward to it. And a pattern with instructions, yarn and fabric will be available for you to buy in different combinations of colors at Yarndale. I will, of course, for those of you who don't come to Yarndale, I will make those kits available on the website as well. And instead of the leather strap, which I just happened to have around and I thought it was a great way of reusing it, the kits will have the materials and instructions to make a strap out of the fabric that you get with the kit. The fabric is going to be long enough so that you can wear it crossbody, so it's a complete kit to make one of these. This is the first one that I've made for myself and that I've been using already, but I immediately went on to a second one, which I'm actually nearly finished, and that is this one. It's got a little ball, because I'm still working on it, on the edge, top edge. It's got a little ball with the last color inside. That's a really useful tip when you're working on it, because you're working with relatively small balls of yarn. Even when you're doing it all in one color, it's only a small ball. As soon as you're about 2 inches high, you can put the ball inside your work as you crochet around. It works really well. Anyway, so this one nearly finished, and as you can see, I've used the cottage garden gradient that is normally a kit for the Soepeler scarf, a Soepeler shawl. Here's the kit for it, for the shawl. As you can see, same colors, and those 3 gradients that are available for the Soepeler are going to be available in, of course, much smaller quantities to make one of these with fabric that goes with it, contrasting color, but a really nice complementing color to go with it. This one will have the chartreuse, for example, as a lining and as a strap. Looks really nice. And I'll do a similar thing for the other two colorways. There is the really neutral one, which I don't have hanging here at the moment. And there is this one, the Columbine, with the blues and yellows and purples. So hopefully there's one that you like. It's all, well, in American terms, single crochets, or in English terms, double crochet on a 2mm needle with my linen 3-ply yarn. It's really addictive, it's really fun, and especially if you're changing color like this, then it really holds your interest as well, because you do a set number of rounds with one color and then of course you change color. So the other thing that I don't know if you can see, but it's ever so slightly conical in shape. So as you work up, you very gradually decrease some of the stitches so that it has that beautiful shape to it, just a little bit of shape, but it just stops it from looking like a little fabric bag, and gives just that hint of extra style and extra finesse to it. So I'm really pleased with it. I've already got my yarn lined up to do a third one, which I will hopefully also have done in time for Yarndale to show the sample on the stand. And that is in one of the gradients, and it's a super subtle gradient. This is the Magpie gradient. So we're going from black to that really dark inky blue gradually with this gradient. There's the black and the blue next to each other, so you can see how dark they both are. Got my 4 little balls here lined up for the next one, and I think, yeah, I've got, this is one of the standard gradients, 100 grams of the linen. The gradients for the bags, the kits for the bags, will have a smaller amount of linen because you need much less. There's less than 40 grams of linen yarn in one bag, so you only need a small amount. So I'll make mini sets of the gradients and the color combinations up and then add the pattern, of course, and the fabric to it. But there's the magpie gradient. I can't wait to see how that works up in that really tight crochet stitch, because it's a really nice firm fabric, and that's really what I wanted, because the idea is that your phone is safe in here. You can, you know, just wear it without abandon and knock it into walls and things like that, and nothing will happen with your phone, because it's got a firm fabric plus a lining to protect it, working a treat. So like I said, I can't wait for I'm gonna go black at the bottom and then gradually work up to the blue. Really excited about it. Anyway, there's me with my obsessions. Like I said, I go into these obsessions properly sometimes and like really dive into it and have to see it in a couple of different color combinations before I can move on to the next thing. And of course, I haven't even started doing patterning yet, which I'm hoping to do as well. I've moving on from that and do some interesting patterns. I love to have like a trellisy flower thing. Ooh. Anyway, future dreaming, crochet dreaming. Now onto my knitting. I've noticed that in the evenings, when the last couple of hours before I go to bed, if I watch any TV, then if I watch TV together with my husband, the way we have the lights in the living room, it's really annoying for me to have a spotlight on my work while I'm knitting or crocheting and while we're watching TV, because there's a reflection, of course, in the TV screen. So try to keep that extra light off. But in the case of the crochet, it means that because of the crochet hook and the stitches being small, even when I work in a light color, I can't see the work well enough. But that means that every day my Dances of Wolves jumper is at least getting a little bit of love in the last hour or two before I go to bed. And that means that I have finished the pattern, the color work part, and I have not stuck to the pattern and included a section of stocking stitch before I started the ribbing. The idea is that I should have another 3 or 4 inches of stocking stitch and then start the ribbing, 4 inches of ribbing. But when I tried this on to see how things were progressing and to decide what I wanted to do in terms of making that back a little bit longer, I took a photograph wearing it on top of my clothes, and I plonked it on Instagram, and I really got some responses of people who said, don't make it any longer, the crop looks great on you. Well, I'm not quite that confident with a crop. I really do prefer to wear things that just cover my stomach, but I did think, well, actually that boxy look is really nice because it is a very oversized jumper, even on me. So I thought, you know what, I am going to make it more boxy. So after only a couple of rounds below the color work, I've started the ribbing, and I'm about an inch into my ribbing. The ribbing is supposed to be 4 inches long. I'm going to stop after 2 or 3 and see how I like it. And I may end up cutting that ribbing short a little bit as well and not do the full 4 inches. But I didn't start it until I have again created my favorite look by adding a section of German short rows in the back that you can see here. So you can see here about 3 inches of stocking stitch below my color work, and that 3 inches then very gradually disappears, and by the time you get to the side there are no extra rows anymore. But that means that again, even though my jumper is going to be shorter, it again has that slightly graded line between front and back that I just like so much, and I wanted to see what that would look like on a shorter jumper. So watch this space. Slow progress because I'm still crocheting like mad whenever I have the opportunity. And one of the things with, of course, this crochet is you can put your hook in here, or with it, what I end up doing is have my little ball inside and then have my hook on the outside, and I roll the work up depending on how far I am and just put it in my pocket. And with the last stitch that you've crocheted, you just pull it out a little bit, and because it's so sturdy and linen, it doesn't unravel at all, even if it gets caught on things in your pocket. So you can just stick this in your pocket, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I've even done it walking to the studio in the morning, crochet a little bit while I'm walking, and any free opportunity, I quickly get a couple of stitches done. I love working like that. So this is getting more love during the day, and then the last hours of the day I dedicate to my Dances of Wolves, because of course I still also have the sleeves to knit, and I may give it 3/4 length sleeves as well. I am a sucker for either 3/4 length, or it has to go all the way over my hands so I can hide my hands inside. But because of that boxy shape, I have the feeling that it might be quite nice to give the sleeves that similar kind of boxy feel to them. I'll do a very long, the same length as my ribbing down here, a long cuff on it. And I think the original cuff, I'll show the photograph again here of the original design. I think the original cuff is quite fitted. I won't do that. I'll make the cuff loose and flowy, so the whole jumper ends up having that slight A-line to it, and that wide ribbing, that wide border edge at the bottom of the sleeves and at the bottom of the jumper, so that I can just throw it over whatever I'm wearing for a little bit of extra warmth. I love wearing jumpers like that. So I'll keep you posted on the Dances with Wolves. I'll keep you posted on the crochet bags. The next episode of the podcast is out just on the Friday that we are in Skipton getting ready for Yarndale. We'll be building the stand, so I'll do what I can to record and edit the next podcast before we set off for Skipton early that week, hopefully with more of these in and being able to show them off a little bit more, so you get even more of an idea of what the available kits look like. So watch this space. Don't shoot the messenger if I don't manage it. We're so out of the whole show circus, if you like. So I hope that I can line it all up and give you a show in just at this ahead of the start of Yarndale. Worst case scenario, things will be delayed. I may even have to skip an episode, so forgive me if I have to do that. I will let you know in advance if that is the case in both the newsletter, and I will publish that on social media as well. For now though, this was my update on the crafting front, and without further ado, let's have a look at this baby and a couple of others that are on pre-order in the Layercake section. Enjoy. New month, new pre-order. What you see me wear here is a bit of a tease that's not part of the pre-order, but that is going to be launched later this month. I am wearing a shawl knitted out of my linen 3-ply in the bright pink colorway, which is almost identical, not quite, almost identical to magenta. This is my magenta, my own magenta tulip dress. This is size 1 regular length, and of course magenta is a cross weave of the bright pink with like a raspberry red, so it's ever so slightly darker than the bright pink, but it's really difficult to see when you compare a lace knit in the bright pink to the magenta. Seeing them next to each other, you think, yeah, that's pretty much the same color. The difference though is then when you see the magenta on a bigger woven piece of fabric, then you see that it's slightly darker. In fact, I can grab a piece of pink Here is a pink step top. So there you can see that is slightly lighter because this is not a cross weave, that's purely the bright pink, and this is a cross weave. But somehow the bright pink yarn, even though it's not a cross weave, ends up looking slightly darker. So it is a wonderful combination with the magenta. So you can see here the difference between bright pink and magenta in case you've got bright pink and you don't have magenta but you're considering it. That's them next to each other so you can compare. But this is a beautifully knitted lace shawl that I have tied around me as a shrug. I'll show you that in a minute. And it's just as an idea to hide your arms, the tops of your arms, if you don't want to show them, but you don't want to get warm, then putting a linen shawl like this, a fairly, for example, is a great example. It's a very, very simple pattern. This is a slightly more involved lace and a very exciting lace. This is a lace shawl that was designed by quite a prominent shawl designer who has worked with me to knit this design that I'm giving you now a sneak peek of. All will be revealed in the next episode. Look at that beautiful, beautiful design. Now, that was the sneak. I'm not going to say any more. All will be revealed, like I said. So the idea here is when you've got big bingo, my bingo wings are completely out of control. I think it's a genetic thing. They tend to develop if you've been much heavier. I haven't been much heavier than this, but they're really big. Now, I just flaunt them to the world. Life is too short. I mean, come on. But I know some of you do not like to bear all, sorry plant, like I do. So you have a shawl like this. If it's long enough, and a guideline is, if you want to know if a shawl is long enough to do this with, then if you have it around your shoulders and it comes all the way to the tips of your fingers, then you'll have enough length to tie it behind your back. So what you do is, if it's really long or you're really slim, you can tie it like this in the back. But with the length that I'm showing you, you just go down underneath your arms to the back. And this kind of shape works really well because it's a crescent. But if you have a triangular shawl, then that works well too. You just have to make sure that the point that hangs down stays out of the way when you're tying your knot. You don't want to get the loose bit that's here. You know, if you have a triangle hanging down, you don't want to tie that into your little knot. But see what happens. It just hangs down like a little bolero at the back, and it ties around your arms. So you just have a bit of a layer on your arms. It also dresses up the dress nicely, and you don't end up baring your shoulders. Of course, it doesn't give you proper sun protection like this, so be aware of that. But it does give you very different visual impact of that whole shoulder and upper arm area. Now, I wanted to open with this because I am wearing one of the pre-orders. As you may be aware, we have just closed the pre-order of the Love dress and Tulip dress in new colors, and the magenta was one of them. We are now opening a pre-order for a very special Love top that I'm going to show in a minute, and baggies. Baggies in the magenta to go with your dress. Just showing you how a combination like that looks. Wonderful alternative, of course, to a play suit, wearing a dress and baggies like this, and then you can wear them as separates as well. Be aware, of course, it is warmer because for that whole section from the waist down, you're wearing 2 layers of linen rather than 1. And in the case of a longer dress like this regular length on me, they'll go down beyond your knees, of course. So, pre-order number 1, the baggies in magenta. There's another color of baggies that is going to go on pre-order, but I will reveal those in a minute. And I will, instead of wearing this shawl, now replace that shawl with the second part of the pre-order, the special love top. Here we go. Here it is. A love top in linen, sparkle. Remember the really pale greyish linen big shawls that I had last Christmas? There's one right there, together with now a love top. 3/4 length sleeves, all the regular attributes of a love top, slightly shorter in the front, slightly longer in the back. I'll show it separately in a minute, but I just wanted to show it to you together with the beautiful bright magenta. I'm going to wear it with a whole bunch of different garments, dressing it up, dressing it down, showing you that it can be worn as an everyday top because the sparkle is quite subtle. It's not in your face, it's not too bling, but if you want to wear it for a special occasion, and of course we're already thinking towards the end of the year, either by itself or with something underneath or over the top, then that is an option. And as always with the love top, you can size up or down. So you can wear this, order this as an oversized top. Right now I'm wearing the size 1, which of course is size coordinated with the dress that I've got it under. But you can go up in size and wear it like a really oversized Japanesey kind of top, the way this top tends to go when you size it up. But I'm also going to show it together with the other dress that we've just done the pre-orders for, which is of course the love dress. I want to show you how subtle you can dress up a love dress. You've seen it with, for example, the shirt, but how about something like this where you just have that little edging and then the edging at the sleeves, and that's it. Let me quickly show you. And here it is. As you can see, that subtle peep above the neckline of the love dress, and then just folding up the hemlines, which are this width on purpose on both the sleeves, the finished edges, so they just look like cuffs, as you can see, but there's still that subtle sparkle. So it just dresses up the dress a little bit, or just gives it that little bit of extra emphasis, just a little color pop at the end, color contrast at the end. And great example of wearing the sparkly love top as an everyday top. So let me keep changing the colors that I'm wearing this top with, because it doesn't have to be super bright. I'll show you, for example, the small check, another great color combination with this top. Grab him as well, put that away. We don't have to have the bright pink in the corner all the time. So let's have a look. So I have kept on the magenta baggies to show you how incredibly well they go with the small check, and then having the lovely kind of natural look and feel of the sparkle top, because the sparkle top is not grey, but it's actually undyed linen with that silver sparkle. So it shows as a pale grey, but it actually isn't, and it really comes into its own when you are contrasting it like this, or when you're wearing it with colors in the direction of the same paler spectrum. I'll show you what I mean. First of all, I'll take off this small check dress. This is the petite length, which is knee length on me. Just to show you what the sparkle top and the baggies, which of course are both on pre-order, look like without wearing anything else. And then I'll bring in some more neutrals. So if, like my hair, you've got light hair, then of course it's beautiful to put the silver top right next to it. It really brings out the highlights in your own hair color. And then contrasting it with the bright pink of the baggies. These baggies are my own, and they have been washed a number of times already. So the dress with Andrea just made for me in order to show it as part of the pre-order hasn't been washed yet. So you could see that they were completely the same color. The magenta stands up to the wash really, really well. It also hasn't stained any of my other wash. Mind you, I do wash it with dark colors, so it also hasn't dulled. So that up like on the side. I love this combination of the very simple, plain, light top, nice and long in the back, with the baggies. Very simple outfit. And then I could just bring back the shawl, for example. And of course, a shawl like this, it could be, I can really show it off, but I could also just put it on as it gets a little bit cooler and really wear it close to my face, for example. If for whatever reason I want to keep that silver away from my face, I can wear it like this. Lovely outfit altogether, with or without the shawl, or of course I can drape it again. So whether it's this pattern or any of the others, the bright pink is a wonderful addition to your linen shawls when you wear it next to magenta. So off with the shawl again, because I promised neutral colors. So here we go. I thought I'd start off by showing the neutral check, just to bring home the point about what a neutral color this is. And hopefully you can see in combination with these baggies that it's more of a neutral grayish color than pure gray. Because it's a grayish, it can be worn with both warm and cool color palettes. It can go in both directions. So in that respect, it's really, really neutral. And if you normally wear warm colors, this color works beautifully for you. If you normally wear cool colors, it works as well. It's properly in between, which is why I keep referring to it as a grayish, gray, beige. So adding more, staying in the neutral palette, let me show you another combination. Here's a duster in the mist stripe. Mist stripe is a proper gray, very light gray and a darker gray. And then you can see against the love top that this is the grayish and this is properly gray. But of course, when you then combine that with the neutral check, which has got grays in it as well, you get a really neutral, but at the same time exciting, because of the different patterns worn together, outfit. So I have checks, I have stripes, and I have a sparkle. And doesn't it look lovely together? Not wild, but really interesting and different. And the different weaves and the different color combinations allude to different textures. So it's a really interesting combination of fabrics, even though it's top to toe in linen, and beautiful transitional with the top being 3/4 length sleeves and then having the 3/4 length sleeves of the duster on top. As it gets colder, of course, you could then put a long sleeve top underneath it to warm it all up, or add more layers or add warmer layers. Let me show you a neutral combination with a love dress in a color that we did last year. Steel, remember steel was part of the original introduction of the love dress, which of course is what I'm wearing in the petite length, and is still available as a color for you to order. It's not part of a specific pre-order, but it's still a fabric that we have in stock. So if you are keen on a steel love dress, you can order it on the website. There we are. This of course is one that we already have in stock. That's a size 1 petite length. In case you're keen on it, doing the same thing again with showing the cuffs and showing the edging at the top. But if you're not keen on that, of course you can hide more of it. And then the light neutral check baggies. I can darken this whole outfit a little bit by grabbing one of the jersey baggies. Let me do that and show you a trick that you can apply at home. So what I've done here is I've put the dark slate colored baggies on, the jersey baggies, which of course is a lovely darker color, and it darkens, it brings down the whole color palette of this outfit, despite the fact that I still have the love top underneath that I can make peep out like I did before. But I have not actually taken off my linen small neutral check baggies. They're still underneath. Here, they peep out here. So of course, if you wear them like this, you want to ensure that you pull up the neutral check baggies slightly higher than the jersey ones. So you have the waistband of the neutral check sitting above the waistband of the jersey ones. But then what happens is that, of course, the linen baggies act almost like a petticoat to your jersey baggies. So the jersey baggies that are really slinky and soft and supple, because of course they're a jersey knit, end up being propped up by the linen. And depending on the look that you're after, you may really like that. A bit more volume, a bit more kind of oomph, if you like, and of course a lot more warmth. When I talked about the introduction of the jersey baggies, and I talked about just keep them on and throw something else over the top, same with the jersey top, so you don't have to get completely changed. If you've been lounging at home, just throw a layer cake over the top and you're good to go out. And warm enough, you can do it the other way around. You can wear your jersey baggies over the top of a different pair. You still have that extra warmth. You have this 2 lovely cozy layers, lovely and warm for winter, and you get 2 looks instead of 1, because wear the jersey inside or wear it over the top of your other baggies. So there's more baggies coming for winter in more colors. At the moment there's just the slate color, but there's more coming down the pike. So watch this space for one of the future episodes. Back though to the top I was showing off, and moving on to yet another color family. I'm going to go darker in color to try and dress it up a little bit. Let's go. Magpie love dress. Dark color, immediately looks a little bit more formal. Still have my little edges peeping here to show off the color of the silver or the greyish sparkly love top. And I'm still wearing my slate baggies. So nice and dark, very muted, keeping it dark at the bottom. Very different colors, the slate and the magpie, but they go really well together. They have very similar color value, so they look fantastic together. But I could, of course, highlight the pop that the love top makes by removing these and bringing the neutral check back. So I will do that for you. Try and do that without falling over. The old balance is not what it used to be.
As if I ever had great balance. When you get older, you can blame lots of things on your age rather than your own human failing. Do you find that? Do you use it? I don't use it too much, but every now and then. Like just now. Here we are. Neutral check baggies. Could be a play suit, of course. My sparkly top, bringing that neutral color back, and the dress. Slightly less dressy, can you see that, than this was. Of course, it also depends on what kind of shoes you're wearing. I find that my my little ballet flats are very neutral, so I can dress the outfits up and down without having to change my shoes, or so I believe. So, lovely neutral color, but if you think, well, no, I really want to keep those baggies dark, then let me show you another new baggie. Not a new baggie, but a baggie that is great for winter and that we're doing a pre-order of because it goes so well with this new top. Let me show you. For those of you who are heading to colder months and for whom 2 layers of linen and a layer of linen and jersey is not enough, here are the ink chalk stripe wool baggies available to pre-order at the same time as the magenta baggies and your silver greyish sparkly top. I'm going to show you, of course, the sparkly top with the baggies without the dress. Wonderful combination. But I wanted to show you the magpie dress with the wool baggies together first, and then having that super subtle stripe. It is just such a chic combination of colors. That subtle stripe and then those light emphasis of sleeves, and here at the neckline it's almost a little bit like edging your garment with some jewelry, and that's how subtle the sparkle is in the top. It's not garish and over the top. It's not just a top for special occasions and Christmas. You really can wear it all the time, and like I said, it is just a little edging like that if you dress it down like this and make it look like it's part of your jewelry. So let me know what you think, of course. But meanwhile, I'm going to remove this dress and show the baggies with just the love top. So, just the chalk stripe, the ink chalk stripe wool baggies with the love top. Lovely combination, picking up on the stripe, of course. And if you want to cover it, but not quite as much, and you love the chalk stripe, then I have a suggestion. Pushing back the sparkle of the greyish sparkle love top a little bit and bringing in an extra bit of pinstripe, but in a really playful and informal manner, in the form of a mini tabard. Because remember, we do the mini tabards in this same chalk stripe. Of course, it's like a little bit of a body warmer, it's an extra layer, and you get, because of the difference of length of the love top in front and back and the points of the a mini tabard, you get that playfulness of the different layers playing together. But of course, there's another new garment that has only just been introduced that would be wonderful to wear in this combination to push back the prominence of the love top just that little bit further still. Let me show you. The most fantastic and versatile dress of them all. The wrap dress, covering my beautiful pinstripe baggies and mini tabard. As you can see, if I close it like this, then it beautifully follows the lines of the mini tabard, and it looks as if I'm wearing one garment that is all in the pinstripe underneath my dress, underneath my wrap dress. Of course, I can wrap this up further. I could also lose this and show a little bit more of the love top at the top, and then close my dress either more or less. Why do I keep telling you this? I can just show you. Wear it open. You see the dark color of the ink chalk stripe. Beautiful contrast against the magpie stripe, which of course has got the super almost black dark blue in running through it, which of course matches the dark blue of the chalk stripe, but then has that lighter blue color as well. Still dark, but not quite as dark. So I can go like this, closing it up like that, or I can close it a little bit further. You know the drill. I've seen this plenty of times, but I want to show you how this plays with our gorgeous greyish new top. As you can see, I'm tying this up very loosely. This is the size 1 wrap dress. And I could of course tie it up all the way as well, but I want to show a little bit more of my sparkly top, so I don't want to tie it too much. Have a nice, like 4 or 5 inches of space from the corner, see that? And just let that hang, showing a little bit more here in the front. And then I can of course bring it back again with the sleeves. Stunning outfit. Could be worn quite in a dressy environment and in a dressy way, of course, depending again on what shoes you combine it with. Add a pair of heels will give some instant glam, of course. However, if baggies are not your thing, if you like this outfit but you think, I can't get away with baggies, I just want straighter trousers, these things are going to make me break my neck, or I don't like the low crotch or whatever, no problem. We'll replace them with a pair of palazzos. Palazzos in the shorter length, showing a bit of ankle. Of course, you can wear them longer or shorter. If the regular length palazzos are full length of you, just pull them up. The crotch in these trousers, in the palazzos, is not completely fitted, so you've got a little bit of space to move with, to play with. I mean, I really like the idea that you can play with where and how you wear your trousers. I can make these look longer on me by pulling them down onto my hips, or I can pull them up really high, like beyond my waist to the bottom of my rib cage. They're still fine the way they sit around my bum and everything, but you can see that I've pulled them up really high and make them more cropped at the bottom. I like the idea of being able to play with your trousers like that, with your clothes like that. And of course, if you think, yeah, that's just not going to stay, that's going to move, then you can roll them down with the wide elastic. They've got the 1 inch wide elastic in them, so you can roll them down and that'll keep them in place. So, wrap dress, those acres of fabric that I'm digging around underneath to play with the trousers. If I then open this again, you get a little bit of an impression of what the love top looks like over the top of black with those black palazzos. I can lose this all together, the wrap dress, and show you just the plain black against the sparkle greige of the new love top. There it is. A couple of more pieces to show you. dressing this up further. We are edging towards later on in the year. We won't mention any dates yet, but if you like the idea of wearing something that you can wear day to day, but that you can then dress up and wear in a more dressy or festive setting, then let me show you a festive outfit. Remember these from last Christmas? The festive bubbly dusters in the short length only. This dark colorway, and it's like Jupiter and Saturn were the two colors, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to it. I'll show you the other colorway here. I have only got this one in stock at the moment, but I've managed to secure some more fabric in both of the colorways. So these will be coming back again this Christmas as a festive duster option. Again, of course, they can also be dressed up and down, and it's just to show you how beautifully they look with black linen and also how well they go with the greige. And now, just right at the end, I'm just going to show you a color pop that is completely out of the direction of everything that we've been showing so far, but I think goes really well with this top as well. Here we go. Last but not least, the greige sparkly love top worn together with a chartreuse love top, a jersey love top in a bigger size. So at the moment I'm wearing the size 1 love top in the sparkle and a size 2 love top in the chartreuse, and then just lining up the sleeves so I can roll them up, lining up that front. And I've done my favorite little trick of having the sparkly love top underneath slightly tilted back, and then the one over the top slightly tilted forward. So then what happens is that the love top underneath disappears in the front but peeps out in the back. It looks like it's slightly longer. It isn't. They're both the same length, but because I've tilted them, you can see a little bit of sparkle here in the front and a little bit of sparkle there in the back. A combination that I really like. And imagine what this would look like, for example, with the black jersey top or the navy, for example, to create that contrast, or any of the colors. To be honest, they'll all go and they'll all look really nice. And then depending on what you wear with it, you can either blend it in or create more contrast. So I hope you like the introduction. So on pre-order for you right now with the discount, as all pre-orders are, the sparkle love tops, the magenta baggies, and the ink chalk stripe baggies in the wool. I hope you enjoy the offering this time. As always, let me know what you think, and I'll see you again soon.